So yeah, we sold everything so that we could start our full-time slow travel journey.
So in today's video, we're going to share with you what our timeline looked like, how we managed to get rid of all of our possessions, how much money we made, and finally, some mistakes we made that hopefully you can avoid along the way.
And let's get started with our timeline. So unlike a lot of other people who start this journey, we did not sell our house. We decided to rent it out. And fortunately, my sister was able to rent it from us, and that made it a lot easier for us, although it did sort of change the timeline of how we had to do things along the way.
We started this process with me retiring first. That was done at the beginning of July 2025. The reason I started at that point was because we needed to start liquidating things.
I did have good health insurance, and we started in July with him retiring because also the plan was for us to get me working all the way through the rest of the year, and then had my last day be in the early beginning part of January, which turned out to be January 2nd for me. So that way we were able to maintain our US health insurance for the full month of January. And then there were some tax benefits to that as well, being that I was getting a large PTO payout and we wanted that payment to happen in 2026. And so then I was also able to contribute a good amount towards my 403B.
Another part of Sanya leaving her work in January and us actually flying the coop in January was it would allow us another holiday season. Our kids are grown and out of the house now, but we wanted to have them back for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that afforded the opportunity for that to happen.
And with them coming home for the holidays, we were able to send some of their stuff home with them and take advantage of airline checked bags as opposed to how expensive it can be to ship things via USPS.
The first part of the process that started in July was frankly kind of overwhelming, because if you're anything like me, you're sitting in I was sitting in a typical 3-bedroom home that the kids had moved out of, and Sonia and I were living there comfortably, and you look around you and you say, how am I going to get rid of all of this stuff? You know, you look at the furniture, you look at your appliances, and you look at
just everything that we had accumulated over a long period of time.
You could sit in the living room and be overwhelmed, and then just walk into the garage and be overwhelmed too with all of the stuff that you've got in there.
Yeah.
You're just getting started with getting rid of a few things really gets the ball rolling and makes you feel good about the process. It's not easy at first, but it gets easier as you move along to clear out all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. We just start with one room at a time, or just even one dresser at a time, and start going through things. But you have to be strategic in your planning, in that when we started, it was summer. We knew we were going to be going and having partial winter at home. So we had to kind of think about things strategically along the way. So we were able to get rid of a lot of things and then hold on to just enough to get us through. Then knowing that we would be getting ourselves down to one suitcase each and one under the seat bag. I mean, you just know you have to get rid of pretty much everything.
Everything's got to go.
Everything. We did end up having a little storage up in the attic, and having my sister rent the house made that a little easier for us. But we really got rid of so much stuff.
So I looked at it from 4 viewpoints. What am I going to keep? What can I sell? what might I donate to charity, and what needs to go to trash. One of the big first things that you look at are, what can I sell? Turning some things into cash. eBay is great for little items that are particular, that people are looking for, that aren't expensive to ship through the US mail or UPS. Facebook Marketplace was a huge help to me. In fact, I'd say 90% of what we sold went through Facebook Marketplace and worked very well. I thought it was a good platform.
We didn't have a garage sale. We didn't have an estate sale. And, you know, we decided to sell as much as we could on Facebook Marketplace. And in the long run, I think we ended up making more money on Facebook Marketplace, because I don't know about you, but when I have a garage sale, or, you know, I've never had an estate sale, but people come and they're rifling through your things and you're just kind of wanting to get it done and you feel rushed. And it's like, sure, take that for $2. Whereas on Facebook Marketplace, we were able to set a price and we could negotiate if we wanted to. But for the most part, you could get a better price.
It also allowed us to take the time to go through those things individually over a longer period. So we didn't like list everything at once on Facebook Marketplace, but we might attack a couple shelves on the garage at once, and then work into the kitchen cabinet that you don't see very often, that kind of thing. So it's a little more easy to digest, I think, if you're trying to liquidate a large amount of things over a longer period of time that way. And with one of the things on eBay that was really amazing to me was I had accumulated from my childhood a fair amount of Hot Wheels cars. These had just been in storage in the garage for years and years, and I hadn't thought much about them, but looking into eBay, I see they're really something that people like to collect.
Yeah, what year were you born?
1965.
And when did Hot Wheels come out?
I think 68 or 67. So I had some of the early ones from that period, 67 to 72 or so. And we sold a lot of them. We sold all of them on eBay, which was great. And a lot of them brought in way more than we thought they would. So we were pleasantly surprised to find out we had a little extra cash.
How much did you make off of just like one car?
I think
the highest priced one.
We close to $100 on one of them. Yeah. I mean, and we had, were there like 40 or 50 little cars?
Yeah, and we didn't make 100 on each of those, I think.
Some went for $6, but most of them were, more than $20, which was great.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It's kind of fun.
It was a fun experience.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things for me was going through all of our photos and just stacks and stacks of photos. And I spent a lot of time digitizing stuff and getting as much onto, hard drives as possible. I found 2 camcorders, one with like this size tape and one with like this size tape that goes in it. And I was like, how do I even play these to find out what's on them? And thankfully, one of my sisters had a VCR that we could borrow. And then I found a digitizing company who could take care of that for me. And that was great. And going through everything just sort of forced us to be like thinking about how are we going to store things from now on?
What do you really need to have?
The other cool thing about digitizing everything is I'm able to share all of those memories with my family and the kids very easily. So going through everything, literally your whole entire life, is emotionally draining. And sometimes after a long day of going through things, we were just exhausted.
It can wipe you out.
Yeah.
So be prepared to realize that what you think might take you some time could probably take you a little bit more time than you initially thought.
Mm-hmm.
And it is emotionally draining when you're finding those relics that meant something to you or were part of your life or your family's life in the past. And dealing with some of those memories isn't always happy. Sometimes it's great, it's wonderful, but sometimes it's not always easy. So thinking about strategy, timing is really important, especially when it comes to things that you'll need up until the last minute. Think about your bed.
We sold ours a little too soon.
Little too soon, yeah, and then made things a little uncomfortable towards the end of our stay at the house before we left. You also really want to think about your car and how you time get rid of that towards the end. You may not want to put yourself in a position where you're renting a car for an unknown period of time. So
if you wait too long to sell your car, it could be really hard to get rid of. And if you sell it too soon, then you're spending a lot of money on a rental car. You still need a way to get around.
Yeah, maybe you've got a friend who can loan you a car until the last minute. We unfortunately didn't have that set up, so we were able to get rid of our car in the end rather quickly through an online bidding site called BidBus that is an option for you. You might want to check that one out. Worked out okay for us.
So we estimated that we made about $35,000, which was shocking.
Which was a great way to contribute to our travel fund, which is now our way of life.
Let's talk about some mistakes that we made along the way.
And there's a few.
It wasn't that bad.
No, I'd say that selling the bed too early was an obvious one that we felt towards the end of getting out of the house.
We sold the bed 2 weeks before we were ready to leave. But in our defense, we did not think our bed was going to sell as quickly as it did.
Had no idea it was that popular.
Bert put it on Facebook Marketplace, and a kind gentleman came and picked it up that evening.
It went quick.
So we did have a twin size bed that Bert slept on, and I slept on the couch for a little bit. And then my sister, again, lucky that my sister was moving in, I said, hey, could you bring over your spare bed? And she did, and which made it easier for her move as well. And so we had her trundle bed to sleep on. But yeah.
Still a challenge in the last couple of weeks to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah. And then in hindsight, I really think I would have hired a professional house cleaner to do that last final clean out of the house. We were just already so emotionally and physically exhausted. Having to clean everything along the way made it a little harder.
It was a lot. And I think that you're right. It probably wouldn't have cost us much to bring someone in to take care of that for us, but we did take it on.
We did leave a lot to the last minute. And something that my grandma always used to say is that if it weren't for the last minute, then nothing would get done. And isn't that the truth? We literally were signing our rental agreement with my sister on the very last day as we were leaving, doing the walkthrough.
But it all worked out.
It did. It all worked out. And here we are. We're traveling. We've started our full-time slow travel lifestyle, and we couldn't be happier.
So thanks for sitting with us and enjoying the video, hopefully. And that'll do it for this one.
Ciao.
Ciao.